Trade and the development of colonial towns and cities. Trading played a part in where towns and cities were started in the colonies. Trade goods needed places to be loaded and unloaded from ships. The geographical location where supplies were loaded and unloaded was called a break-in transport. A break-in transport could be a safe coastal harbor or a sandy riverbank where boats could dock. A break-in transport could also be an open river valley or a mountain valley that was one day's travel for the colonists by wagon or horse. After a break-in transport was established, for example, along a flat riverbank or in a natural ocean harbor, then a town or village would usually start to develop nearby. Because the first European settlers came to North America over the ocean, the earliest colonial towns and cities were built near natural ocean harbors or on the banks of rivers that led to the ocean. European goods were imported into the 13 colonies through these coastal towns and cities. Colonial goods were also exported to European countries or other colonies from these coastal towns and cities. Towns and cities that grew the largest in the 13 colonies were those that had access to trade. Water for transportation. There were no roads to travel on when the first colonists came to North America. There were only the trails that Native Americans made for getting from one area to another. The narrowness of the trails through the thickly wooded forests made it almost impossible to travel with a wagon full of supplies. Therefore, the easiest and fastest way to transport goods was by water. Because many of the products being bought and sold by the traders were heavy and bulky, the product could be transported less expensively, faster, and more easily by boats on waterways than by wagons on land. The three regions of the 13 colonies. The first British colonies that were started in 1660 were groups of little villages built along the coastlines of the Atlantic Ocean. Although the first colonists had settled only small sections of the continent, they claimed huge tracts of land for their colonies. Most colonies did not know where their land claims ended and another colony began. The reason for that lack of knowledge about their colonial boundaries was that none of the first colonists, nor anyone back in their homeland, had a map of North America. When a king or queen gave some land to a group of people to form a colony, the king or queen was guessing about how much land there was in North America. The 13 colonies separated into three different geographical regions: the New England colonies, the Middle colonies, and the Southern colonies. The first colonies were not the same size and did not have the same boundaries as the states they would later become after the Revolutionary War. The remainder of this chapter will tell you how the environmental factors of climate, geography, and natural resources influenced the economic development of agriculture, manufacturing, and trade in the New England colonies, the Middle colonies, and the Southern colonies.